Hey guys, welcome back to the Halloween series review, and today I'll be reviewing Halloween H2O 20 years later. I don't have the DVD to Halloween H2O, but yes, we're reviewing Halloween H2O, just so you guys know. I had to write it down on a piece of paper. So with Halloween Resurrection, I don't have the DVD to that, so I just had to write the name down on a piece of paper. And anyways, so Halloween H2O came out in 1998, 20 years after the original Halloween. Stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Josh Hartnett, Michelle Williams, written by Kevin Williamson, and directed by Steve Miner. Steve Miner actually also directed Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3. So yeah, there we go. So the story with Halloween H2O is that it's 20 years later after Halloween 1 and 2, or the events of 1978, whatever you want to call it. And Jamie Lee Curtis, or Laurie Strode, is working at a college or high school. I don't really know what it is. Anyway, she's like the head mistress or something. I don't know. She's something in there, and it's around the Halloween season, I believe. And I'm trying to think because I haven't seen this film in a while. Oh, and Jamie Lee Curtis or Laurie Strode. I keep calling her Jamie Lee Curtis and not Laurie Strode because she's playing Laurie Strode in this movie. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, she moved away from Haddonfield. She's now in California. She's the head mistress of a school, and there's this field trip that's coming up, and her son, played by Josh Hartnett, John Tate, I believe. Oh yeah, Laurie Strode also changed her name to Carrie Tate. So yeah, but I'm still gonna call her Laurie Strode just so we don't have any confusion. But anyway, so some students stay behind, and they decide just to have some parties. But Michael Myers has been hunting Laurie Strode, or Carrie Tate, for 20 years, and he finally finds her and wants to kill her once again. And she has to protect these children too from getting killed, or these teenagers from getting killed by Michael Myers. So with a battle with Michael Myers, it's basically Michael versus Laurie once again. And this time, Laurie is sure she kills Michael Myers. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen this film, but Laurie Strode takes an axe, and wham! Michael's head comes off. She killed Michael Myers. Or that's what we thought. Because in Halloween Resurrection, which I will review that film, but in Halloween Resurrection, I guess the ending in H2O is I guess it's, I don't know. But basically, Halloween Resurrection kind of takes the ending of H2O and kind of just ignores it and just kind of makes up its own ending too. I mean, they still have the decapitation ending, but they say it wasn't Michael Myers, but whatever. I'm going to review Halloween Resurrection whenever I get to it, which is the next film of the series, but whatever. But basically, yeah. And that was Halloween H2O. I know a lot of people like this movie, and if you like this movie, that's cool. That's your opinion, and I respect that opinion. But in all honesty, I don't hate this film. I just don't really think it's all that great. I think Halloween H2O, okay, I'm gonna start off with my dislikes. Well, first off, I don't really think this film has a good Halloween atmosphere. It feels more like a summer movie. It feels like Scream. Halloween H2O feels like Scream. And that's what everyone says. Halloween H2O has this Scream feeling. And it does. It really does. But the guy who wrote Scream also wrote this movie, so yeah. But, yeah. But, like I said, this is a Halloween film. First off, it doesn't feel like Halloween. It feels like Scream. But it doesn't have this Halloween atmosphere. Not like the ones that in the first couple films of the series. Not like Halloween 1, 2, or 4, and 6. Actually, I'm gonna say this. I think the first 6 had this Halloween feeling and atmosphere. It felt like the movie Halloween. It felt like the season of Halloween. You have leaves and the colored leaves. The red. The orange, the yellow leaves. The wet street. The pumpkins, everything. It felt so much like Halloween, but this film doesn't. It has this summer feeling. It doesn't really make me believe that this is taking place on Halloween, while the other films do. Um, the other films make me believe this is taking place on Halloween. This film, however, doesn't. It makes me feel like I'm watching a summer movie instead. But yeah, that's my first problem. My second problem is that they ignore Halloween 3 through 6, or Halloween 4, 5, and 6. Because, those are the one with Michael Myers in it. They want to ignore Halloween 3 because it doesn't really have anything to do with the series, so I kind of understand that one. But Halloween 4, 5, and 6, why? Why would they ignore those? I mean, really. I don't really understand. I mean, okay, I get it. They hated the storyline established in Halloween 5 and 6, and then they're just like, we don't know how to continue off of this, so let's just, everyone hates it, let's just ignore it. Let's just reboot this series, let's start fresh. Let's go back to where Halloween 2 ended, And this was also Jamie Lee Curtis's idea. She said, hey, 20th anniversary of Halloween, and this was her first movie, so or Halloween was her first movie, so she's like, hey, 20th anniversary of Halloween, let's make an anniversary sequel, because it was 1998. And actually, John Carpenter was actually asked to direct this movie, but he said he wanted like $10,000 or something, or he just wanted a lot of money. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but all I know is that he wanted a lot of money. But they said, oh, we can't pay you that. And so he's just like, okay, I guess I'm not going to direct this film. Which is a shame, because I think if John Carpenter directed this film, it easily would have been really great, in my opinion. But sadly he didn't. But, I'm not saying Steve Miner did a bad job. He actually did a good job directing it. But this is where my next complaint comes in. This is where my next dislike comes in, actually. I kind of think the movie's kind of boring. In all honesty, I do. I mean, like, I like the first couple minutes, the chase in Haddonfield, with Marion, or Marion Chambers, or whatever her name is. She was in the first two Halloweens, that where Michael Myers appears at her door. And I might say that the mask used in that scene is actually the mask from Halloween 6. I actually really wish they would have kept that mask for the movie, just because the mask in this movie sucked. Which is my next dislike, but yeah. But yeah, it's good in the first couple minutes, but then it slows down, and then it just gets ultimately boring. Like, I don't really care about these characters. It gets a little boring, in my opinion at least. It just kind of slows down a little too much to the point where it gets kind of boring. It's not like fall asleep boring, but it's kind of just like I'm not really interested in it. And but then it does pick up in the last couple minutes, the fight with Laurie and Michael, which was good. Which is when the film started to pick up and get really entertaining. But yeah, that's yeah. My next dislike is the mask. Oh my god, the mask they used was horrible. Oh my god. Oh, I can't decide whether this is the worst mask or not. This mask was terrible, in my opinion at least. But oh my god, it was bad. The hair, it was, oh my god, it was just weird. And you see his eyes. I mean, okay. Look at the eyes in this Halloween mask. They're black, right? They're black eyes. And remember, the Halloween, in the earlier Halloween films, Michael Myers' eyes were black. But in this movie, you see Michael Myers' eyes. They're completely visible, and that is also a big error in Halloween Resurrection, but in some scenes you don't see Michael Myers' eyes. But that's what made Michael Myers also scary, because you can't see his eyes. It's scary. But, in Halloween H20, you see his eyes throughout the entire movie, and it's kind of just like, great. That's the entire movie, because Michael Myers is, every time he appears, his eyes are just showing, and it's like, ugh, it takes away the scariness of it. Ugh. And, yeah, throughout the film, they do kind of change the masks, and this was kind of a hard thing in H2O, because, every now and then you'll notice the mask was changed. It goes from this really weird looking mask to the horrendous mask that they ended up using for the whole thing, pretty much. But there was, if you notice, there are some cuts with the Halloween H20 mask with the. Trying to think. I'm sorry, messing up my words. But they ended up in one scene there was a CGI mask, which that was even worse. That was the worst Michael Myers mask I've ever seen. I'm sorry. The CGI mask was horrendous. It was terrible. Um, but the original mask they used, I actually think that one, in my opinion, was better. Just because, you know, that you couldn't see his eyes, and it just had this more Michael Myers mask feeling. Sure, the mask looked kind of bad, but it didn't look terrible. Not like the one they ended up using for half the film. I think that's all my dislikes. What I do like, though, is the acting from Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis does a really good job of playing Laurie or Carrie Tate, whatever. But yeah, that's it. You know, she does a good job. You know, she's a good actress. The guy who played Michael Myers did okay. He did good. Just not as good as some of the other actors of Michael Myers. What also didn't help was that mask he was wearing. You know, that didn't really help. It didn't really help anything. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm just I don't know. I'm just not really into this movie all that much. I'm trying to think of anything else I like. There are some good scenes. You know, I do like the beginning with the opening. You know, that was actually pretty good. And it, like I said, it slows down. It gets boring, and you know, get some kills. You know, which you know, they're not graphic because you know this movie tried to be like the original Halloween, tried to be more suspenseful than gory, but you know, they did good with, you know, trying to have a little bit suspense, because there was some suspense in it. But there wasn't many, in my opinion, you know. But, you know, the final fight scene was awesome, you know, that whole scene where, you know, they're fighting. That was actually a pretty good scene, you know. It was actually, the last 15 minutes of the whole fighting scene was just awesome. But other than that, I really don't like this movie that much. It's not as bad as Halloween 6 producer's cut or the next film. Oh my god, this film is way better than Halloween Resurrection or the Halloween 6 producer's cut. So those are my thoughts on H2O. If you like this movie, that's fine. That's your opinion. But to me, in my opinion, Halloween H2O just kind of boring actually. Just it's not that great. I honestly just couldn't get myself into the movie. But it's not terrible, but it's not great. So I give Halloween H2O a 5 out of 10. If you like this movie, that's your opinion. I respect your opinion, but my opinion, I just don't really like it that much. But yeah, I mean, I just don't really like H2O that much, but you know, we all have our opinions. But like I said, I'm going to give H2O a 5 out of 10. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on Halloween H2O. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. And, yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye. Sorry, I said that again. I said that twice. Yeah, before I exit the video, we're almost done with the Halloween series, you know. It's getting pretty close down to the end of the Halloween series. Been fun. It's been really fun. But don't worry, we got plenty other horror films to review. But anyway, guys, bye. Thanks for watching, guys.